Anyway, it's time for our very own Dr. Bob.
Oh, help me, please, doctor. I'm damaged.
That's right, 2B's 1-0.
There's a pain.
And this morning he's relevant.
What's a heart?
Good morning, Dr. Bob.
As opposed to being irrelevant. There's a beautiful sunrise out there, Jake, and I'm not sure if it's happening in celebration of your show or in spite of your show.
You must be somewhere where the sun is.
I'm right here in Elgin, beautiful downtown sunny Elgin. The sun's coming up. It's shining through the window. It's beautiful pink sky. Pink sky at dawn. Sailors take warn.
See, you must get the sun before we do because it's still dark down here.
Oh, well, you're in the shadow of the buildings.
Anyway, Dr. Bob, tell us about Mike Ditka. He did not have a heart attack. He had a minor stroke. What's a minor stroke?
Well, strokes are problems with blood flow into the brain. They either come ischemic, meaning the blood flow is cut off, or hemorrhagic, where there's a bleeding from an artery in the brain. And people who have what we call maximal deficit sudden onset loss of neurologic function, that's usually an embolic stroke or an ischemic stroke. And he may have had an irregular heartbeat, may have had a little clot in one of the top chambers of his heart, and it may have broke free and gone to his brain. A little tiny clot that goes downstream, and then like a plug, it cuts off blood flow to an area of the brain. He apparently was playing cards, and I don't know if he was winning or losing, but he noticed that his hands weren't moving right, and then he couldn't talk right. So he went to the hospital and got checked out.
Now, how do you dislodge that blockage, or don't you?
Well, the body itself, as long as the clot doesn't propagate or get bigger, and you use things like aspirin and other blood clot dissolving stuff, the body itself will dissolve the clot eventually, and restore blood flow. And it's a question of whether that time from the time you get the blood clot till the time that the blood flow is resumed, whether it's too late for the brain tissue to come back. Ooh. But that can take a matter of minutes to hours to days.
Will he be able to coach again?
Coach, I would think that he was told probably not to coach him. A while ago, in 1992, they kind of told him they didn't want him to coach again.
And not having anything to do with a medical condition either.
He'll be able to be a commentator on ESPN. He could do a lot, lose a lot more brain and still do that.
Will he be able to stop the grapes for his wine?
He would be able to do that, yes. Now, Mark Kirk had a different kind of stroke. One of the there's 4 major blood vessels that take blood to the brain, 2 in the front called the carotids, and 2 in the back called the vertebral arteries. And one of his carotid blood vessels, actually, the wall of the vessel tore and what we call dissected. And in doing that, it kind of cut off blood flow to a large major part of his brain. And the carotid arteries take probably 75% of the blood to the brain. And so Mark Kirk lost about 30% of the blood to his brain. And there's what we call collateral circulation, where there's, the body tries to make up for that possibility, but it lagged far behind. That's a very profound stroke that Mark Kirk had. But you'd hope that I'm sure that Coach Ditka is put on blood thinners, and they're probably going to investigate things to make sure that he doesn't have another stroke. There's something called a patent foramen ovale, or PFO. That's an unusual hole between the 2 top chambers of the heart, the atria, and people can get a paradoxical stroke. Normally, that PFO changes when somebody's born. It's open before you're born to allow circulation in a different manner, and then once we start breathing after we're born, that's supposed to close over. But up to 10% of adults have a patent.
I don't want to hear stuff like that I have to worry about now, Dr. Bob.
Yeah, in many ways, it's you want to walk around in peaceful bliss, not knowing this stuff. And when anybody goes to medical school and they hear about these conditions, they think they have every one of them.
Eggbach, everything's going to be okay.
Amen, brother.
All right, let's move on to Jay Cutler real quick. Concussion, he's not going to play Monday. What is the treatment for concussion, or is there one other than just rest?
Well, we don't really know of one other than rest right now. It could be that in the future the use of anti-inflammatories may be important to prevent the damage in the brain. A concussion's like a really bad muscle bruise, only the muscle is your brain. And if you keep on continuously re-damaging it, you can, kill the tissue there and severely damage it. And a lot of what happens that causes long-term problems is the body's attempt to clean up the dead tissue, the scavenging cells in the brain that take away dead brain matter, or and there may be some role for anti-inflammatory agents of some form or variety in preventing further damage later down the road. But that is all unclear at this time. But right now, basically, it's what we call a tincture of time, allowing things to get better naturally.
Does it affect his hearing? Does he hear well? Does he get like tinnitus?
It could, if it affected a certain area. Tinnitus is usually an inflammation of the cochlea, which is the sensory organ in the ear, but you don't really get tinnitus from inflammation in the brain.
Is that totally different then?
Yeah.
All right. Other than that, I'm done.
Well, interestingly, out here in Kane County, we had a sad event. A family got rid of their bull mastiff, a 150-pound dog, gave it to a woman was scared to have a dog around her kids, so she gave it to her sister, who's a paramedic down in Kendall County and lives in Big Rock. And the lady had two other dogs, one a pit bull and another like a Rottweiler, and they were never any problem. But they took this bull mastiff in, and within a week, the bull mastiff, killed the.
Oh, that was out in your area. I saw that story. That's a sad story.
Very sad. And the paramedic was evidently a very wonderful person. I had met her once or twice. In my travels around the county, but she was a very nice person and had a big heart, for the big dog. And they're trying to decide what to do with the dog right now. Animal control is, in my mind, if an animal kills a human, I mean, there's nothing you can do to take care of that animal in the future.
150 pounds, they're hard to control.
Impossible, They're big dogs. On
that bright note, I'm going to wish you a happy Thanksgiving, Dr. Bob.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. It's a wonderful time to reflect on the blessings that God gave you. And in my closing, I'd just like to say, go Bennett. Big game today.
Is it soccer or basketball?
Football, my friend.
Football, okay. As long as it's not soccer.
Yeah, I don't like that American football crap. I don't care. Anybody that likes American football ought to be taken off the air and taken out of print, as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you, Dr. Bob. Bye.
Oh, help
there he goes.
please, doctor, I'm damaged.
Our very own Dr. Bob.
There's a pain where there was
Back to your calls. And if you've looked at the picture, what are your thoughts? And I'll explain that when we come back. 647 on 89 WLS.